teachings. And this was also, Ayatollah question was that she was very interested to hear for herself, so I have to report back later. But to ask if you have a favorite teaching related to Vesak.
Yeah, I gave a formal Vesak talk over the internet. It was called the International Dhamma Talk Association. So maybe I just give a summary of the points I made in that talk. Okay, so I based my talk on, we find repeatedly in the sutras when some inquirers come to the Buddha and ask a question or ask for a discourse, then the Buddha gives a discourse, and then at the end of the discourse, we find this stock formulation where the people say, "Excellent Bhante, excellent Bhante," is just as if a person were to turn upright what was upside down, what was to reveal what was hidden, was to point out the right path to one who is lost, or to bring a lamp into a dark room so that those with good vision might see form. So I took those four phrases and I changed the order a little bit and tried to draw out the implications of them in relation to the broader perspective of the Dhamma. We started off with as if, and it might come out a little differently this time from the way I explained it over in that lecture. As if a man were to reveal what was hidden. So what is hidden, I say, is what the listeners might have picked up is the vast, sort of, I call this the vast samsaric background to our lives. So usually we're just focused on our lives, just what's immediately visible to us in our immediate environment, what we can see and deal with here and now. But what the Buddha's teaching reveals is that this individual life that we're in now is just like one link in a beginningless chain of lives, going back through time without beginning against a vast cosmic background. And the process by which we move from life to life is governed by this invisible but all-pervasive law, the law of karma, by which our volitional actions produce results from life to life. And so when the Buddha explains the Dhamma, then one gets to see one's life against this big, vast picture. And then what the Buddha also reveals, not simply the samsaric background to our life, not only the working of karma, but also that there are many different realms of existence. So we come to see that this human realm that's directly visible is just one realm in this great theater of realms of existence, including celestial realms, of course the human realm, animal realm, the ghostly realm, and the hell realms. And then what the Buddha reveals that is hidden is the fundamental truths about our life, which are the Four Noble Truths. Well, maybe that will come with as if a man were to bring a light into a dark room so that those with eyes could see forms. So this is what the Buddha shows are the fundamental truths of our lives, which are sort of hidden in darkness. So usually, again, we go about our day-to-day affairs, we go about our activities, but we don't really see the deep significance of our life until the Buddha expounds the Four Noble Truths. And then we see that every aspect of our life, of our existence, is pervaded by this quality of dukkha, which doesn't necessarily mean just suffering in the narrow experiential sense, but the fundamental deficiency, inadequacy, defective nature of conditioned existence. And then the Buddha shows us, bringing the light of his wisdom, the underlying root of dukkha, which is craving, and then the prospect of liberation, nibbana, and then the fourth noble truth, the truth of the path. And that takes us to the third statement that the audience makes when they appreciate the Buddha's discourse, as if a man were to point out the right path to one who is lost. And so what is that right path? So we are the beings who are lost. We've been wandering through the different avenues and byways of birth and death, and then we come to this crossroads. We don't know which way to go. Some plunge into accumulation of wealth, others just throw themselves into a life of sensory pleasure, others pursue power, others go to another extreme of trying to lead a spiritual life, but either getting lost in sort of visions of divine bliss or undertaking this harsh course of austerities and self-mortification. So the Buddha comes along and points out the right path, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. I won't elaborate on the Noble Eightfold Path, but if you want details, there's an excellent book by Bhikkhu called 8 Mindful Steps to Happiness. And if you want to get a shorter book on the path, there's one by Bhikkhu Bodhi. I think it's called the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so you have the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is as if a man were to point out the right path to one who is lost. And then when the Buddha points out the right path, we have especially important factors: our right view working together with right mindfulness, right concentration. So that's really the essence of the higher stages of the path. And then the task in cultivating the path is to eliminate ignorance, since even though craving is said to be the origin of dukkha, but what lies behind craving is ignorance. And so the manifestation of ignorance, sort of the way ignorance infiltrates our minds, is by creating certain distortions, or we call these inversions. The Pali word is vipallasa, things turned upside down. Actually, it's clear in the Sanskrit. Viparyasa, pari is around, vi is the opposite way. And so these are the distortions or inversions of seeing what is impermanent as permanent, what is, actually the first one I think is seeing what is not beautiful as being beautiful, seeing what is impermanent as being permanent, seeing what is really dukkha, unsatisfactory, as being sukha, pleasurable, and seeing what is not self, anatta, as being the self. And so the Buddha, in the statement, he turns upright what was upside down. So what is upside down is our ways of thinking, seeing things, conceiving, imagining things. And so the Buddha turns upright what was upside down by showing the truths of things being not beautiful, being impermanent, being really dukkha, unsatisfactory, and being anatta, non-self. And so by walking the Noble Eightfold Path, we develop through right mindfulness, right concentration, and then the right view of insight, we develop the insight which inverts, which sets upright the inversions of our perception and our thinking, so that we could see things correctly and then we eliminate ignorance and gain the true knowledge which culminates in liberation.